Hi.
Howdy, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Good.
Good. Okay,
I
cool.
have
Guys,
coffee.
I have coffee too from
Yay, coffee.
my Paris Starbucks mug.
Oh, very
That
cute.
yeah, that I had to buy for my mother, and she wanted so many mugs that I had to actually buy a special bag just to be able to bring them all home in. Um, my mother's kind of spoiled, but
It's a true story.
I mean, listen. We have a really great episode for you guys today. We are back to covering locations. Not really back to covering locations, but we've done a bunch of interviews and we haven't done a location in kind of a while. So we are back with a really, really great one today, guys. And we do have a special guest host that's actually going to be doing my part of the show. So Laura's going to do the history, and our guest, our very, very dear, dear friend, Anthony Simonelli, is going to do the haunting portion of it because he is as close to an expert on the paranormal at this location as a person could be. Nobody's ever an expert in the paranormal, but he's pretty knowledgeable about the spirits that live at this location. So we're going to bring him on in just a minute. Laura, let's, excuse me. Whew, let's do, God, excuse me.
Dying or what?
I'm dying. Our endless vocal prattling, guys, our updates and announcements, EVPs for this week. We are going to be changing our episode release days. So we have been for the last, Laura, almost 4 freaking years, release our episodes on Saturday mornings, and certain things going on with like job shifts and everything have made us need to change the release dates. They're now going to be released on Monday mornings. Right along with our snack size episodes are coming back as of this Monday. This episode comes out on the 29th of July. So Monday the 31st, we'll have our first snack size episode. And then the new release dates for regular episodes will be starting Monday, August 1st. No, 7th. Something, August 7th. And that's going to be Mondays from here on out. So you'll get 2 episodes every Monday morning. And yeah, so snack size episodes start July 31st. And the new release date for episodes is going to be Monday, August 7th. The other EVP I want to do is a quick shout out to the woman who is my second mother, and she is Jennifer. You guys know Jennifer. You guys love Jennifer. She lives in the haunted wooden toy house, as we like to call it. And Janice is her mother, and today is Janice's birthday. So July 29th, I want to give a big shout out to Janice Bowman. We love you very, very much. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Janice is a really huge supporter of the podcast, and she's got the clothing, she's got the glassware, she has everything, guys. So we love Janice. She has been in my life as long as Jennifer, and since we were 8 years old, so closing in on 40 years. And this woman is amazing and remarkable. So happy birthday, Janice. We love you very, very much. And that's all I have.
Happy birthday, Janice.
Yes. That's all I have. What do you have?
No.
Okay.
My kids went back to school. I have literally been just getting them back into school mode.
Gross.
Just
I
like
don't miss
everybody
it.
else. Like, and it's 115 here, like every goddamn day. So really, I just sweat and deal with kid shit. So that's like my life right now. So they are back in school here already, and it's like volleyball tryouts next week.
Oh,
we
God.
got, the after school stuff starting. So yeah, everything is just ready to kick back up into parental garbage. So anyway, but yeah, that's
I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
I love it, but it's also just so time consuming, and we kind of took a break during the summer. We didn't do too many extracurricular stuff. So we were like, you know what, let's just tone it down. We do a lot. And now I'm looking at my schedule coming up for, like all this extra stuff, and I'm like, oh, all right, I remember what
Oh,
this is like. I
it
don't have a
hurts.
free moment of peace ever. Okay, so
No.
there's that. That's fun. So yeah,
All
that's
right.
pretty much what
So
I've been up to.
you're
Yay.
you're literally catching fire, and the kids are back in school, and so basically it's just chaos over there in Arizona.
Yeah, but sweaty chaos, sweaty, lots of
Cool.
sweat. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's super fun. Okay, great. All right, so back to the episode. Guys, we are going to be covering, you already saw it in the title, you already read the show notes, but we are going to be covering the Shanley Hotel with our very, very dear friend, Mr. Anthony Simonelli. Please give him a big history of a haunting welcome. And hello, sir.
Hello, how you guys doing?
We're great. How are you?
Good.
Good.
It's not as hot as over here as Arizona, but it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's really legitimately these kinds of summers are the reason we moved to North Carolina. No joke.
This is the worst on record.
It is.
So-
It is the worst on record. It's awful.
And that's why I never moved to Arizona.
No way. They are actually, the coroner in Phoenix is moving in refrigerated morgues to prepare for the onslaught of bodies of people dying from the heat. They just are running out of storage. They've already had, like 25 deaths?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that we moved away 2 years ago. But it's been like almost
I mean, I have a
30
pool
solid
and everything,
days.
and there's just not a lot you can do. You just stay
It's
inside.
not refreshing. Yeah.
We've been watching just a lot of movies. The kids have already been to like the art museum. You know, we're doing inside things, so but you
Yeah.
run out of stuff. So, you know, we're just it's kind of like the winter back east is the way that I think about it. Like you just don't want to go outside. So you just do inside stuff. So
Yeah. And you almost can't go outside. Like,
not for long. You don't want to
not
be
for
out there.
long. No, it's awful.
90 degrees here yesterday. I was almost dying. I can imagine you guys.
Right? I'm like, it's 97 and 70% humidity.
I'm staying in.
Yeah. I was door dashing and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm done. I'm finished. 4 hours is long enough.
But yeah, I can't even walk my dog until quite late because just how hot the cement is, you know, and it's and still really hot at night. It's not dropping very far, so we wait till pretty late just to give him his walk, and he's like, "Okay, I'm ready."
Right.
He's like, but I don't want you to burn your.
You need to
puppies, so
you
we
need
gotta
to get
wait a
him
minute."
little dog shoes. You need to get
I
him the
can
little
barely
dog
get
shoes.
his thing on without him, you know. He's just like ready to go. If I can't imagine trying to put shoes on that dog, he's way too crazy.
That's funny.
And plus, they always walk all funny when you put the shoes on.
Pick their feet up like really. That's
But
funny.
he does go jump in the pool sometimes, so he's pretty.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, Anthony, we're covering the Shanley Hotel, as you know. Before we get started, and see, the 1845. Listen,
Love it.
it's perfect. TheHauntedShanleyHotel.com. Guys, go visit it. So talk to us a little bit before Laura gets started on the history portion. How did you come to be involved with the Shanley Hotel?
Well, I've been going there since 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. Back then, you know, I was looking for investigations to do with my team, and I'm like putting up the Stanley Hotel. I'm punching it in. Of course, I don't spell correctly. So it corrected my spelling and said Shanley Hotel. I'm like, that's not in Colorado. What is that? You know, that's upstate. That's pretty cool. It's an hour and a half away. So that's how I really came into it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I got my team together. Back then, I had about 15 people on my team.
Okay.
And we had a big team back then. And I called up, and we actually just jumped in our cars and went.
Isn't that the best? That's the best. Yeah.
Yeah. It was wild. I mean, as soon as you pulled up to the place, it felt like you're being watched. You know, I got some pictures for you to see. Yeah. It felt, as soon as you pull up, and it feels like you're being watched. Then you go inside, and it's like the whole time you're there, and it was very interesting back then.
Yeah.
My team, we got a couple of things, and we got to spend the night at the haunted hotel. That's probably pretty much. And that was the old owner at the time, guy Sal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Old paisan, hey, you go in there, and he's like, hey, everybody's family, come on, join us.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was. I think he had the hotel at the time, like for 3 years.
Oh,
So
okay.
before that, it was kind of empty. And
Yeah.
he bought it, and then he actually opened it up for the paranormal field to go in and start.
It's a smart business move, frankly, especially because the paranormal really got ramped up and going around 2010, maybe a couple of years before that, but it's not going anywhere. So these locations that have paranormal activity, like that's just a wonderful, almost permanent revenue stream for them. So it's a really smart business decision to do that. I love places that embrace the paranormal side,
Yeah. Because back then, not too many businesses opened up their doors for it because they felt, because especially hotels. He tried to open as a regular hotel, and he heard noise and stuff, and then he heard stories, and goes, hey, let me get the paranormal people in here,
Love it.
And it was great at the time to go somewhere that actually welcomed us.
Yeah.
And he goes, anywhere you want to go, just do. He gave us a little history of what the place was, and he goes, and that's what we did. I went there a couple times. I actually went there after Thanksgiving one time on a Friday night, and we stayed over there, and it was wild because Sal had his family over too, because Sal actually lived in the place.
Oh, really? Okay.
His family, I got to meet his kids and everything. And,
That's wonderful. That's
cool.
wonderful. Are you still in contact with him?
No, he passed.
Oh, did he?
Quite a few years ago. Yeah, that's why there's a new owner. After he passed, I think his wife or somebody took over, and it wasn't the same after that.
Right.
And then Kelly, the new owner now, took over from her. And Kelly, you guys see the place now; it's unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
When I used to go there, because Sal had on the windows plastic, because it was very expensive to keep the place, and Sal didn't have as much money as and he was bringing people in as investigations, but not everybody back then was into what it is now.
Right. Yeah.
Investigating haunted locations. And he on the third floor, which is the most haunted floor, he had plastic pigs on windows. So sometimes when the wind came through and there was holes in the wall and rain came in, and it was like
wow.
Places. Yeah. And he was fixing it up through the years,
Yeah.
It was like back then. It was like, wow, this is great, thunderstorms are coming in on us.
Right. And that, I imagine that would have lent itself to like the creepy vibe of it as well, with so we know as paranormal investigators that, when there's a storm coming in, we love it, like the lightning, like let's get more electricity, let's get more energy around these locations so that the spirits have an even bigger resource to draw from. So, all right. Well, then without further ado, Laura, tell us about the history of the Shanley Hotel. And Anthony, of course, if you have like more information, you want to expand upon anything, like she said before we got going, jump right in.
I don't want to jump in too much because I don't get a backhand from her. So violent person. I'm saying.
It's fine. She's used to me doing it, so just whatever.
Carrie, yeah.
She's like so mild. She's so quiet and mild.
It's always what you got to watch out for.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Ow! Like, ow!
All right, so let's do the sources. You get those, Carrie?
Oh, I sure do. Sorry. We haven't done location in so long. I'm
like, what are we doing?
What do you mean sources? All right, right.
Who put her in charge? No one. Okay.
Literally no idea.
So, all right, my sources are yankeeexpress.com, hauntedshanleyhotel.com, and roadtrippers.com.
Yay. Okay.
Yay.
Oh, and
All right.
while we're at it, we might as well do my sources.
Sure.
My sources are Anthony Simonelli. There we go. Super easy for me this week.
All right. So the Haunted Shanley Hotel, like Anthony kind of alluded to, it is in upstate New York. It's about 2.5 hours. Is that right, Anthony, from New York City?
Yeah.
Depending on where you are.
For me, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, okay. So the hotel is nestled in the foothills, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, Shawangunk Mountains. Is that right? Did I say it right?
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong person about getting words.
All right, okay. We'll go with that then.
Sounds great.
See, I'm not good with words myself. So.
Okay. It's in the small town of Napanoch, New York.
Napanoch, you said that right, yes.
All right. Hey, all right. So the historic bed and breakfast has boasted several famous guests as well as a few infamous ones that used to go to the Gentlemen's Club and Bordello.
Oh, this got good quick.
Right? Yeah. We're already into it.
That's where I stay at the Bordello, too.
Nice.
These days it's free.
Yeah, there you go. So in 1845, Thomas Rich was the first person to put mortar to stone, or more accurately, nail to wood, and erect the Rich's Hotel on Main Street. Napanoch was a nice vacation destination from those attempting to escape the hustle and bustle of the larger cities. As we said, it's not too far from New York City. The Thomas Rich Hotel claimed in a local newspaper to be, quote, one of the area's best with fine food and new furnishings, unquote. Right, so it was fancy from the get-go.
Right.
So even after Rich sold the hotel in 1851, the newly named Hungerford's Hotel continued to purport the property as one of the most beautiful and commodious public houses to be found in any section of the country.
Wow.
Mr. Hungerford catered to the same clientele as Mr. Rich, including the elite gentlemen's club that boasted a very distinguished membership. So the hotel changed hands a few times for a few years and kind of changed names. But in 1887, Adolf Wagner became the new landlord. 8 years later, on March 18th, 1895, a nearby home in Napanoch caught fire. The fire spread to the hotel and consumed the entire structure. But it was quickly rebuilt and opened for business in no time under a new name, the Colonial Hotel.
Wow, all right.
So the most notable owner, and for whom the hotel is still named, was James Shanley. When his family immigrated to New York City from Ireland, James and his brothers found success in opening restaurants and hotels across the country. He moved upstate and discovered the beauty of the hotel and the town. So he purchased the property in 1906 for $10,000 and added an addition to the rear of the building. So the new wing served as a boarder shop, boarding house, and later the bordello. Shanley also added secret rooms during Prohibition to hide contraband and escape tunnels in the cellar to hide from the authorities.
Ooh, cool. Are they still there, Anthony?
They're still there, yeah. They don't let you go down as much, but I have gone down. They used to hide the records and stuff. Yeah, it was great.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No. See, I interrupt all the time. She's used to it. It's fine.
Yeah, no worries. So in 1910, Shanley married Beatrice Rowley at the hotel. The couple became well known and respected by many prominent and influential people of the day. They were known for their parties. She was known for her good taste in decorating and dress. She was very fancy, especially for a smaller town. Thomas Edison was a regular at the Shanley.
Oh.
And he became friends with the owners. And Beatrice also became close friends with Eleanor Roosevelt, who often visited the Shanley.
Wow.
So the couple was even invited to attend the inaugural ball for President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Which one?
And
wasn't he president 4 terms? Roosevelt?
yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think they went to the first one, but I don't know for sure.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So a room was later named in Roosevelt's honor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In 1916, there was another fire in the ice house. And I thought this was kind of cool. A new auto fire truck is credited with saving the hotel from destruction. So new technology with
really?
with having an automobile fire truck, they say saved it that time. Just kind of cool. Gives you an idea of how old this is, right?
I just learned something new, so.
Yeah.
I just learned something new.
Oh, there you go.
You're teaching me. That's great.
There you go. Hey, but I'm doing my job.
Yes, you are.
The couple did have 3 children, but unfortunately, all 3 died before they turned 1.
Ooh.
Kathleen died at 5 months, 24 days old. James Jr. died at 4 months, 11 days. And William passed away 9 months and 10 days after birth.
Oh my God. From what? Just illness? Or was there like...
Probably, I mean, I would guess, but they didn't have, the modern medicine. It was it was sadly very common, for children to pass.
Right. There weren't vaccines and stuff like that. And
right.
Wow.
They had money too. I mean,
yeah.
They could doctor do anything. They had the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it was at the time a lot of kids around that area were dying from different diseases and stuff like that. So.
What year was, what were the span of years?
I believe this is around 1910s. So
okay. Spanish flu was
the Spanish flu, pox, that kind of stuff was still going around. Yeah.
Okay.
So
conception and TB.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's right.
So a lot of stuff was going on around that time.
Damn.
And as we know with little babies, it could anything,
Yeah.
Really, if they don't have the immune system to fight it off, sadly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, her sister did end up living there as well. So her and her husband, John, her name was Esther, they lived in the adjoining apartment to Beatrice and James. Beatrice was really close with her sister. Esther was a notable beauty with a kind heart. That's how she's described.
Oh, me too.
And yeah, so as much as she loved her sister, though, she really, really missed her friends and family. She left in New York City. Oh. So they said that she used to wait every day beside the mahogany telephone booth, waiting for her friends to call her from New York.
Oh, that's sad.
Right. So, sadly, Esther met a sudden end at the hands of influenza. Here we go again, in 1918.
Damn.
And it left her grief-stricken sister to raise her 2 little girls.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Tragedy was not limited to the Shanley family. That was, I don't know, oddly weird to say. The barber that they had hired, Peter Gregor, whom James had hired, obviously, to live in the Shanley, and he was their barber. His youngest daughter, Rosie, was only 3 years old when she passed. The little girl had wandered across the road to the Hornbeak farm, where she lifted a wooden slab to peer into a covered well.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, it's not going to end well. Losing her balance, Rosie toppled into the well, striking her head upon the rocks as she fell down. Her body was found nearly 2 hours later, leaving her broken-hearted father with a difficult decision. He came to the conclusion that he could no longer live at the site of the accident, so he took his wife and his remaining daughter, and he went back to Brooklyn.
Oh, God.
Their former apartment became the site of the speakeasy. Yeah, and so this was during Prohibition, and the alcohol was kept beneath the bar through a trap door.
Really?
I love this, the little nuances of all the secret rooms and
the tunnels.
And the hiding of the liquor. But however, a raid was conducted on the Shanley Hotel on February 26, 1932, which led to the confiscation of the alcohol and the arrest of John Powers, who was a local bootlegger, and Mr. Shanley. So although they were both arraigned in federal court, neither of them did any time. So it is speculated that possibly the Roosevelts, their good friends, intervened and kind of shooed those charges away.
There's also behind the door. There's not just the bar area, but behind where the bar was, there's actually a trap area with a little hidden room underneath the building.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
so cool. That is
That's
so
neat.
cool.
I mean, I can't stand down there. That's how small it is. It's like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm not that big of a person. I can almost touch the walls on each side with my arms.
So like a little hideout.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Oh,
it.
cool. Yeah, I love that stuff too. So James sadly passed away on August 26, 1937. And then Beatrice found the hotel was just too much for her to do alone. So in 1944, she sold it to Alan Hazen, who ran the hotel until his death in 1971.
Wow.
So
Long time.
Wow,
under
yeah.
his management, the Silent Room gained its moniker. So the story was that if he maybe drank too much, that the staff and the guests would tiptoe around as he slept it off in what was called the Silent Room. Does that sound right, Anthony?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's silent
So
room. Go ahead.
throughout the next few decades, the Shanley changed ownership and even served the community as a tavern, the James Shanley Tap Room. In 1991, it closed its doors and was abandoned for over 10 years until a man with a vision and a heart of gold decided to take on the challenge of restoring the building to its former glory. In 2005, Salvatore Nicosia bought the Shanley.
Great guy.
And the hotel, yeah, that's what you said. So the hotel was reopened in 2007. And sadly, in 2006, Sal passed away. And then in 2017, the hotel was closed for a little while. But Kelly, right? She
Kelly.
bought it in 2018 and has continued to refurbish the hotel. And it just looks lovely now. Really, really great.
Unbelievable what they've done.
Yeah.
Really, it's gorgeous. Inside and everything. So, but Sal was a great guy. He really was. Like I was saying, Sal. His famous saying was, "As you're coming in, everybody's family.
That's
You're all
wonderful.
family. Go do what you got to, you know." So that was his famous line. Yeah.
Is he there as a spirit? Have you encountered him?
Yes.
Is he really?
We've done. I'll tell you. I mean, the history you got is right on the money, and it's even something I learned. The ice room went on. The ice house went on fire. But yeah. When I first got there in 2010, that's the first time I went there, and that's when Sal he was in the air, and it was 2010. Yeah, I'm so bear with me. I mean,
Right.
I've been doing it for such a long time, and I
Yeah.
got like billions and billions of pictures of everything. And
Yeah.
back then, when we went back there, so people know, it was 8mm videotape.
Oh. Okay.
Night vision. So you had a cartridge you had to put in there every time you wanted to do something. So
Okay. All right.
and it was not much night vision. Night vision was very expensive. I had a camera I bought from England to actually do the. Matter of fact, I think Shanley was the first place I actually did it.
Oh, really?
Night
Oh,
vision.
that's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah.
But Sal, like I said, every time you went there, it's like everybody's family come on in and do what do. We were there a couple of years ago, and we were there. I was got a guy named Flip. His name's Flip, and we were talking and stuff. And he actually worked with Sal when they first opened up the place as a volunteer, and they gave tours and stuff like that. And that was back when Sal was still there.
Okay.
And, so when we went back, it was a couple of years ago. Flip was with us, and that's where already Kelly took over.
Okay.
And the apartment where Sal stayed in was vacant because he actually lived there. He stayed there at the hotel. And we went in there and we're doing EVPs and stuff. And Flip was very close with him, and I knew him, and not many people knew him that was on the investigation with us. So we're like, Sal, how are you doing? And I said, so Flip goes, what was your fame? What did you tell everybody when they came in? and the EVP said family.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's cool.
It came out with like family. I was like, yeah, and we like him and I were flipping out, and everybody's like, really? Yeah, that's what he used to say. Everybody come in your whole family.
Yeah.
And family came out on the so that was like an awesome moment, to verify he's still there. And there is evidence that he's still there. Kelly and Tracy, the manager, they have people with evidence that his name is being said or his expressions, or because he was a big smoker and he talked like this the whole time.
Okay.
And he had a very deep, raspy type of voice, and that would come out on recordings. So
Really?
Sal's
Oh, wow.
Sal's still there.
That's wonderful. I don't know what that would feel like. I'm trying to imagine somebody that I knew, a friend of mine that had passed recently, and then capturing them on an EVP. I have no idea. I probably would be flipping out too.
Yeah. It's like a validation that they're still there. It's so, and it was his passion too. I mean, that was his place.
Yeah.
He wanted to restore it and stuff like that. And of course, then his health started going.
Sure.
But he was there quite a few years before he actually, after all that, it was, he was, this was passion. So to hear his voice, it's like, yeah, this is Sal. That's Sal. Yeah, that's Sal.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, so tell us about the hauntings. How many, are there, how many spirits are there? What are jump right into the hauntings. Let's hear it.
The hauntings itself, through the years, I think there's a lot more now than when I first started going there.
Oh, all right.
People bringing energy in.
Yeah.
People bring objects in. And there's a lot more than when I was there with Sal, what we heard and spoke to Sal about. Because Sal told me about back then about hitman Joe that I had experiences with on the third floor. Joe and the kids. Yeah, what's her name? Rosie's still up there. Little Rosie is still in the building.
Wow.
There's the well, it's still there that she drowned in. It's right across the road. And you go across there, and there's a cement slab over it now.
Good.
And but she's right there. But she's still in that building. And there's a kid, Jonathan, that's in the building too. A little boy. I mean, now there's so many more spirits going to that building because I think everybody's just bringing energy in and bringing more stuff in and opening up portals and everything because of mirrors or whatever they're doing. So it's a lot more. I mean, there could be like 100 now.
Really? Wow. Okay.
There's always new ones. Psychics come in all the time, and they're finding new people, and everything's there. So there's a lot of stuff going there. I guarantee to be,
always something happening.
I did read about a murderer who murdered a young girl who was 9, but it wasn't in the Shanley. It seemed like it was in the area. This man murdered a preacher's daughter who was 9, and they're both supposedly, they might be tied in at the Shanley. So do you think it's like, if things happen just in the general area because that place has such a strong energy that it kind of pulls in the spirits possibly?
I feel it does. I mean, in that area, I mean, there's so many spirits in that place, and there's so many vortex and, openings that you can bring stuff in that happened in the area itself. In the place like you talking about the silent room. That's supposed. There's actually some. If you're sleeping there, you can have the sheets pulled off you and being touched and
Oh my God.
In the Roosevelt room also there's activity. Every room there has something going on in it.
Yeah.
And when I stay overnight. I stay in Rosie's room. That's in the bordello. Rosie's room up in the bordello is full of dolls. and that's the room I stay in.
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't do that.
Those were a hard pass for me.
Yeah.
And on one time we were there, and I have the camera in that area. It looked like one of the doll's heads moved, and that doll's still there. I was like, it looked like it just like this, but I couldn't make it out because I tried to debunk it and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe it was a question on my part because, there's a video camera. You moving things, shadows could make it look like a head move.
That's true.
But I think it's really happened, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I didn't put that video out there, but yeah, I stay in that room. The doll's still there. I'm like, listen, just leave me alone. I'm going to sleep now. Okay, guys. Good night.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So now, how many guest rooms are in it now that you can actually stay in?
I think you could keep up to 25 people.
Wow.
So it's like 2 people in a room. I mean, there's one room there's 1 or 2 rooms that you can keep 3 people in, but mostly rooms are 2 people.
Okay.
And then you can stay in the bordello area. There's 3 rooms up there, and then there's the gentleman's quarters under the bordello, and because the bordello is you have to go upstairs to a second floor for the bordello.
Sure.
And underneath there's a room with multiple beds, and teams actually go there and they rent that room out, and the whole team stays in that room.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
so you can about 25 people because I was talking about getting an event there with us. So
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. I can't wait. We will definitely be doing lives and recording and stuff like that, guys, when we do go to the Shanley Hotel.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, talk to us a little bit about some of your most memorable experiences there, and then we can, if you're ready to, we can show the pictures and the video that you brought with you. But talk to us about some of the
2 of
creepiest.
them that really got me. In the 3rd floor, the room I told you, there's a hitman named Joe. And in that room, there's actually a chair that's in there. And they say, Joe doesn't like nobody sitting in his chair.
Oh,
So I didn't sit in there. I just went up to it and I started doing EVPs. I had a group of people with us. We had a couple of people with us, and I'm doing EMF. I'm trying to get a reading off it, and we got cameras going and stuff.
yeah.
All of a sudden, it felt like something just grabbed me and threw me up against the wall and started choking me. So
Oh my God.
everybody's meters were going crazy at that time.
Really?
So I'm up against the wall. I was like, "Is that all you got? Is that all you got?" And all of a sudden, it just broke free from me, and everybody's meters went dead because everything went dead. And I'm like, "Oh, see," I said, "because somebody stood up to you."
Yeah.
So I'm like, nothing happened. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to go downstairs," and I tell everybody, "Stay there. Maybe we'll see if the meters go back. Maybe he's just not coming in because of me now."
Right.
So I started going down the stairs. Everybody's meters started going off again. I was like, yeah. But that was interesting how it felt like something just, grabbed me, threw me against the wall because I was there.
Yeah.
And I'm not a light guy to be pushed back like that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's
Now, is that the
definitely
guy
something
that
to
was
be
supposedly killed on the property? Who was kind of a bodyguardish person from when they had the speakeasy? Is that the same person that they think, or just somebody who's somehow tied to the place?
I don't think they really know what happened to Joe.
Okay.
I really don't think they know what happened to him.
And he's not talking about it.
Clearly, he's not very friendly.
He's not dead. Doesn't seem to want to chat.
Yeah, well, we have EVPs cursing at us, telling us, what he, F you. Well, we had an interesting one with that. And one of the guys was doing a spirit box, and he's like, "Joe, why are you still here?" And he's like, "You feel maybe all the bad things you did, you can't go, you have to stay here. What are you afraid of? heaven came out.
Ah.
Whoa.
Heaven. So he goes, what? He goes, what about heaven? You don't think you could go there? Why? Yeah, bad. So he's like saying he was bad, too bad to go to heaven.
Oh, and he's afraid.
It was the Irish mafia there.
Ooh.
So they were probably, Catholics or, the Protestants or whatever,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they believed in heaven and hell. So maybe we feel, and I feel as a thing, my theory is that he's too afraid to leave this world because he's afraid he's going to go to hell.
Yeah.
So he's staying. He's not going nowhere. He's not
Wow.
going to heaven. So the only place he's going to go is hell. So, yeah.
That's actually really sad. That's really sad that that's like you have that level of fear based on how you lived your life that you're afraid to leave and to see he might go to heaven. Who knows? Depending on what he did, I don't know, like hitmen. I don't know. But that's really sad. I feel kind of bad for him.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
how about his
he's
victims?
obviously not, right. As somebody got choked by him, but
and
maybe he deserves to be here in like limbo and just kind of afraid to stay here.
it's
Yikes!
punishment. Yeah.
Karma, man.
For sure.
The second time I had experience there, and my brother and my son laughed. They laughed hysterically at me, but we're in the bordello area, and my brother went. There's 3 rooms in the bordello area. Anna's room is one of them. Anna was supposed to be the madam.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is when that place was, there's a back staircase that goes up. It's not wide. It's not easy to get up. You walk up the stairs and they turn. But before it turns, there's a little seat there on the side. The madam used to sit there.
Okay.
Madam, and you give her a cigarette. She smoked a cigarette. You better be done because you're getting tossed out.
Wow.
Oh.
You got to be quick there, It's like, yeah. So that was what was said, that but you used to go up to the stairs and go into the room. Well, the first room was Anna's room, and my brother went in there and laid down on the bed, and he's like, anything here, anything, and I stayed outside it was like a little sofa that was outside. I guess you consider like a waiting area.
Okay.
So I sat down. I laid down on there, and I felt like something was massaging my back. So this is good. It was like, this is good. I don't get my back.
Love it.
So my brother's like, I said, Gerard, anything? I said, I feel like my back's massage. He goes, oh, I want a massage. My back hurts me. So I was like, okay, we'll trade places. So he goes on there and nothing with him. I got on that bed. My legs are hanging off. I have a cross on me. And I'm laying on the bed. All of a sudden, my cross gets pulled sideways, and it feels like cigarettes being put out of my legs.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, ow, 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 ow. So my brother, my son, hear me go, ow. Instead of being sympathetic and coming to help me, they thought it was the funniest thing. They're on the floor laughing. I get up, I go, and I pull up my pants, and you can see look like cigarette butts being put out on me.
Oh my God, that's awful.
I had little welts, but the funny thing, the next day the welts were gone.
And no pain, no sign they were ever there?
No.
That's nuts.
No, and
That's
I took
nuts.
pictures. We took pictures. And that was when Sal was still there, because the next day I go down and I tell Sal what's going on. I said, yeah, it felt like somebody's putting cigarettes out of my legs. It was like, and he called one of his workers over, because come here. And the worker didn't hear what I was saying. Come here. What happened to you the other day over in Anna's room? He goes, yeah, it felt like somebody's putting cigarettes out of my arm.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, are you kidding me? This has just happened to me last night.
Right.
And this guy's talking about it happened to him a couple of days ago in that same spot.
Did you
know?
smell cigarette smoke or anything in that area?
No,
No.
we didn't. We didn't.
How does she like? What have women's experiences been up in that area? Is it just like guys that she's kind of
Messing with.
Yeah, thank you. I'm like, what's the word?
No, they mess with everybody up there pretty much. You know, they do touch you and stuff like that. I don't know if any women have been inappropriate touched up there, you know, that
Yeah.
I know of. But, you know, there's so many people going there. So everybody now,
Yeah.
she's booked to next year, you know, a lot of stuff
Yeah.
at the hotel. So there's so much happening there now. They're doing documents on it. They're doing all kinds of stuff on it. So
That's really cool. Yeah, I was just wondering because there's a jail in Globe, Arizona that one of the women that ran the brothel in Globe was thrown into jail there because she ran a brothel. But most of the men in the jail were her clients. So she's known to not like women that go in there and investigate her on a tour or whatever. She tends to like scratch them or shove them or, you know, whatever. So I was just wondering because she's jealous because all of the male spirits there, like, you know, they love the women that come through. So I was just wondering if maybe this Anna was kind of the same way. Like, is she jealous of, you know, women that go in there, or like, just wondering how she treated females that stay
yeah,
there.
I know. Some of the guys were bothered up there, scratched and stuff like that too.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, maybe she didn't like guys because they came in and, you know, guys, and they might try to take advantage of the girls or
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
the
Hurt
girls
them
or
or.
whatever. And she's sticking up for them. They did have a bouncer up there too,
Yeah.
and I guess he would take people out too. You know,
Yikes.
I was a bouncer, so I know how we do it.
Anthony's the one you want to investigate with for sure. For sure.
So, you know, with her in that area, it's an interesting area, and you always get something up there, you know, from lights and stuff, or just EVPs. EVPs, you get all kinds of sayings and
That's
people's
so
names and everything, and they do respond to you. That's intelligence responses, you know, and that's
Yeah.
what you want, you know.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's really interesting, that place in that
I
area.
can't wait. Laura, we gotta go. We gotta go.
The part of the history that I might educate you now.
All right.
Please do.
Underneath the front porch, you know, of the building, they got a long. I know if you've seen pictures of the place, you see.
Yeah, the long.
that long porch or whatever. Underneath it's empty underneath there. What they used to do in the winter, because they couldn't bury people in the winter, they used to put them and they used to store them underneath that front porch.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
I was afraid you were gonna say that.
People in that area could be all laid out there before the ground thaws out, and they take them and they bury them. So that was also known like a morgue type of thing under that front porch in the basement.
Really?
And that's one area you go in there, you feel things touching it. You go in there, your hair stick up. You know? And down that basement is wild. It's wild.
What kind of crazy things have happened, or have you experienced, or have you heard people that have experienced things in the basement? What kind of hauntings are down there?
Down the basement, there's an area in the back where they actually put a chair, and and the chair actually shakes and moves on its own.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. People being touched down there, I always get scratched or something. I don't know. They like to attack me. Everywhere I go, something attacks me.
I was gonna say that's kind of a physically violent location.
Yeah.
I don't know, as I've heard so many physical like experiences in a location as much as this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, through the years, people brought stuff in too.
Yeah, that's true.
And I like I mean, everything there, not everything there is haunted or like they got dolls now and stuff like that, and or Ouija boards. Everybody has an item that's giving them a trouble. They drop it off there, you know. And then they have, all kinds of seances people have and stuff like that going on there.
So do they do allow people to use Ouija boards there? Or do people just bring them?
I think people just bring them. There are probably Ouija boards there. Matter of fact, the back room, there was a back area where I just got to recently, like last year, to actually go into it. At one time, Sal had his workshop in that area, and it was a storage room. But they refurbed it. They redid the whole thing just recently, and they made it to like a big ballroom. And they have seances. They have a bar there now.
Wow.
And Tracy, the manager, she makes equipment. She actually designs equipment. She made a big. Cool. She has a mannequin of a guy, like a bartender, and she made it into an EMF meter.
Stop it! Really? Oh my God! I've got to see that.
Yeah, it was. I haven't seen. I seen pictures of it. She told me she was doing it, and I got to see. I want to see this thing, and the thing goes next, and she has lights that go off and everything on it.
Oh my! Could you imagine if it's like eyes were the lights?
Say, like his eyes like light up, like orange, cool. Red.
Creepy.
Robinson.
Let's see. I wrote down a couple of things, so because I've been there so many times, it's like I don't know things that's bleeding to each other.
Sure, yeah.
Times and stuff like that. Okay. If you want to show the pictures, we can show the pictures, and I'll explain the
all right.
pictures. That one picture is pretty much the same.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So Laura, let's take a look at these pictures. Let's see here. Here's the first one, hopefully. Hey, it is.
There it goes. Okay. The two pictures there, I mean, it's a distance.
Yeah.
Well, if you zoom in on...
Do the next one.
I don't know if you could zoom in. That's the picture on the top there. If you look at it, it looks like a little girl and a little boy looking out the window.
It sure does. It sure does.
That's Rosie.
Oh. Let's look at that first one again. Hang on. One second.
The first one's the same picture. It has a man on the second floor, which, I mean, I didn't get a chance to zoom in and cut it to send it.
Yeah. I can't.
This is when I first went there. This is back in 2010.
You can see that guy, though. You can for sure, and that's that second, that upper pane. For sure. And you can see the kids in that room. What room is that they're in? Is that Rosie's room?
No. Rose up there. That's the third floor. I told you they had the on the windows at one time.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
That floor is up there. When you go up on that floor, that's Joe the hitman's room there.
No.
Next to it is a kid's room, and they used to call that Jonathan's room.
Okay.
And the two kids pretty much, they're all over the house in the different places, but they have played up on that third floor a lot.
Oh, okay.
That night, this is when we first pulled into the lot there, and we felt being watched. So I told everybody, take pictures of the building. Yeah. And this is one of the pictures of the building they took, and of course I do my thing, and I spot these little things, these little people in the windows.
That is wild.
Well, that night we were up there, and we actually got response from a girl, and I actually seen a girl and a boy like running from the room, from the kids' room into that room. That room, I believe somebody hung themselves in.
Ooh, yuck.
Yeah, there was a woman hung themselves in one of the rooms up there.
Wow.
So when I did the review on the stuff, and I seen this picture in that room, I'm like, oh shit! All night long we've been chasing these kids. And they were in that room, and at the beginning of the night they were watching. When we first pulled up, they were watching us.
Wow. That is wild. And you know what? It's interesting. I keep going back to the first picture, but this style of architecture is very popular back there, isn't it? Because this is for sure, because of the shape of this side of the house, is giving off very Amityville vibes, right?
Yeah,
of that house. But this is a very popular style of architecture back there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's a lot that look like this.
Yeah, I guess the way they designed it back then was the way they shaped the roof because of the snow or whatever the architect was about back then.
Yeah.
But this was back in the 1800s, going into the early 1900s. This was the shapes.
Yeah.
A lot of shapes of buildings. I know here out in Long Island by me, you got a lot of those. Well, I got Amityville. About 45 minutes from my house.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. It's not far from Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it basically looks like a farmhouse. Like anytime you would imagine a farmhouse, almost kind of built like a barn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the same kind of style of a roof, like where it's pitched at the very top.
Yeah.
But not like a huge sloping roof because you don't want that snow accumulation, right, to weigh down on it. It seems like it's made to like kind of push off.
Yeah.
Right.
But very much looks like a barn. Yeah.
Distributed weight on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
That room is interesting because, like I said, somebody was they hung themselves in that room too.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of history going back with other stuff too. On that floor there's actually, and I didn't get it, but they do have it on their website. I think Shanley. Somebody got a picture of a cat, a ghost cat. There's a ghost cat that haunts that place.
That's really cool.
I have heard that
Wild
too.
thing, and you see the tail.
Oh wow, that's really
so
cool.
crazy. That would be really cool.
So yeah, there's a ghost cat there. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff through the years. Like I said, everything bleeds into itself.
Yeah.
Do you think the third level is the top level is the most haunted, most active?
Well, that's one of the locations, and they do bring the tours up there for that. Matter of fact, during the middle of the night, they lock it down, and one certain time they lock it so nobody could go up there. Because it's a hotel. You actually stay there. People can go there and stay there all overnight, and it's great. I mean, I like it. And they lock that floor up because people go up there and who knows what in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that floor is one of the most haunted, and you got the basement has activity going on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Bordello is another. The bordello has the activity going on in there too. So that third floor is, like I said, it's interesting. You go up there and you can feel the energy.
Yeah.
You definitely feel the energy as you go in. I know psychics that went up there and they're like, holy cow. And they get some of them get sick and they have to leave.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wild floor to go on. It's like when I first got there, that's one of the first floors we went up to. And I had left the camera there, and we all went downstairs because that's the third floor, so we went down back to the first floor. And the first floor, there's an area that everybody sits in. There's a table there, and that's the, like retreat room. It's like you go down to the first floor and hang out.
Kind of like the gear room, yeah.
Yeah. It's I call it central because we pretty much said everything up there.
Yeah.
And I left the camera up there, and I got like audio on it talking, and I got a little voice, and then I hear, "Will they get out of here already?"
They're ready for you to go.
Right, not subtle at all.
Oh, I guess you get tired of it too. They get tired of it too. It's like,
right?
Probably.
Here. What's your name?
The whole thing. Can you knock if you see it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
Do you know what year it is? Shut up. when you do you don't do it with a kid. You act like, hey kid, and, you go up to them, hey, you want to play and grab a toy or something like that. You don't interact with them. Who cares? It's like
Right. Yeah, they're not like they're not sideshows. They are living human spirits. You know what I mean? Most times, most locations. So it's important to remember that when you're going in and doing an investigation, is to just talk to them as if they were still living and standing in front of you.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I actually was taught by Tony and Cherie and Chris and Audra, but it's definitely something that was driven home when we investigated with you at Trans-Allegheny, and just like watching your method of paranormal investigation and how just natural it is. Like you were talking to them, like you would be like you talk to us. And so that's something that I've really tried to incorporate in the way that I investigate now. So thank you very much for that. Yeah.
I guess make me blush.
Yeah.
Anthony, you are a lot of fun to investigate with, and it's always fun. I always learn something, and we always have a good time, and we always laugh a lot, which is the best part.
Plus also the cannolis that he brings.
Okay,
the cannolis, cannoli kid over here,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Everybody likes when I come because I feed everybody.
Yes.
We're not going to complain.
No, we're never ever gonna complain. So now, through your investigations and stuff, have you been able to piece together a little bit more of the history of the Shanley that, like, maybe wouldn't be found on a website or,
I tell you, it's so much, through the years, like with Joe and stuff. Like they're coming out with more and more stuff now, and with psychics going there. So me piecing it together, like with the kids, Jonathan and Rosie, that's I pieced them together and stuff.
Sure.
But they weren't the same era,
Yeah.
Same era. Jonathan was killed by a car in the parking lot.
Okay.
But now they're telling me that I know Jonathan was a little boy to me all these years. Now Kelly and Tracy are finding Jonathan might not be a little boy.
Oh.
He might be acting as a little boy.
Like a spirit just acting as a little boy, or okay. I was like, because you know how like it's such a popular notion that demons will try to portray themselves as children. So that's why I was like,
because they're starting to see a guy with a long beard and stuff like that up there.
Whoa.
Now, but what I think, if there is any connection between Jonathan and this man with the beard, I think it might be because Jonathan died as a boy. Maybe that was something that was, like if he did live. I mean, maybe
what he would have
something,
Right, all that quantum entanglement. Maybe he'd lived to be an adult in a different.
Well, and I did
universe.
read. This was one of the things I kind of didn't include because there was different, varying information. So, and I couldn't verify either, but that. Some said that he died when his father accidentally ran him over, right? And then some said that he didn't die from his injuries, but he was, severely injured. So he may have like arrested development from that injury. So maybe he got older, but his, mental faculties and his emotional
stayed the age he was.
Stopped. And so internally, he is still that boy, but maybe he got older.
I've been hearing that now, too. After all these years, as a matter of fact, I just heard it this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So it could be...
It could be that, yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been there. I just, from what I kind of gathered from different sources.
Yeah. So you don't know, and nothing's written down. And remember, stuff back then wasn't written down.
Right.
And he was run over by a doctor, Jonathan. What happened was he was in the parking lot and he was sitting on one of those. Remember, these old cars. They
Sure.
had the bumpers, and
Yeah.
he was sitting on the bumper, and the doctor got in the car. He was a little tipsy. He didn't see him. He just backed up and backed over him.
Oh God, that's
They
awful.
brought him in the hotel, and they said that he died in the hotel. That was the story that I was going by
Sure.
all these years. He died in the hotel, and now he's there. He's haunting it.
Yeah.
But now the story's changed, and I don't know how to go with that. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
story I know, or because I like to go with the truth too.
Sure. Yeah, that might be something to kind of, dig a little deeper. Yeah, do a deeper dive on it and ask a little bit more from either him or the guy with the long beard or. That's interesting. That's so cool. That's one of the other thing I love about
what records you could find too. Like you have to go down to the recorder and see what you can find for deaths. That's in a lot of the smaller towns. They're not online. So you actually have to physically go down and start searching through, microfiche or even if they're still there, because a lot of stuff gets destroyed by fire, etc. So and we already talked about this.
Lots of fires.
One place had a couple fires.
Lots of fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know Kelly's doing all the history on it, and I think they got somebody helping them out too.
That's cool.
So they're doing all the history on it, as much as they could get on it, But it's interesting how the history's changed, and through the years. Like I said, nothing was really recorded much back then, especially with kids and stuff like that. Unless the newspaper came along and said, "Hey, let's put an article out."
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Articles. But then, who's writing the article?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the journalism slant too, but that hotel was a big draw to that small town, and it was a big money maker. So the fact is that they probably would have never publicized anything bad happening there because it brought a lot of money to the town. It doesn't seem like that wouldn't be good for the town. So they probably in a small town with a small town newspaper, they probably wouldn't.
Especially if it was a doctor that drunkenly ran over a child. Yeah. That's interesting.
They called out it was actually a gentleman's club at one time, and only gentlemen were there. And if they did show up with women, they used to say, "Gentlemen to the right, women to the left."
Yeah. Yeah.
So they would just separate them as soon as they went in.
Yeah.
That's if they did. But that's why I guess they had the bordello connected to the gentlemen's quarters.
That was very, very common in that era. The Driscoll Hotel in Austin had the same thing. There was an entrance for the men, and then the women had the entrance on the complete other side so that they didn't have to be, witness like the rough and tumble what the men were doing on that side of the hotel. It was just the ladies on the other side. So that makes a lot of sense.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just there recently. Well, we did an event there. It was Ron and Lourdes was there.
I was going to ask if they did the Static on there.
Yeah, we did Static on there a couple of times. Remember, we just did a recent one, but I think this was last year and we're there. And we did an event. That's when Ron started doing his the seance thing with the
digital seance initiative. Yeah.
It's when he first started, and we did it at a UFO museum nearby.
Oh, cool.
So nearby Shanley. So Helly said, "You guys, you want to stay over? Come over Friday night. You can stay over." So okay. So we did that at there, and then we stayed at the one there that Friday, and then Saturday we're going to have our event going on there also, where people were coming to see the radio being the Staticom, or well, it wasn't Staticom back then, but
Yeah, was it direct radio voice or?
direct radio,
Yeah.
yeah. And we're having an event the next day, and so we're there all day, and we're there all day Saturday and stuff, and a lot of downtime and stuff, like nobody's there yet and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like in the afternoon, I said, "Oh, I'm going to go upstairs to go take a snap, something like that."
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have a long night. Then he go, well, we're gonna order pizza. So okay, when the pizza comes, give me a call and stuff. So I go upstairs. So I'm up there, and Lourdes calls me and says the pizza's here. I come downstairs. I'm going to the thing, and I'm like, who's that? John Zaffis showed up.
Oh, really?
He just showed up. It was like, hey, John, how you doing?
How?
He's eating a slice of pizza with us and he's hanging out with us. It was so awesome. Like, John was there.
That's
just
really cool. Yeah.
Everyone was there. He wanted to hear the radio. And
It's amazing.
it was an interesting night because,
Really?
yeah, John really liked what was going on and stuff.
I'll tell you what, there's not many people.
Sam Baltrusis was there also.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was one of the people who are going to be with us. So we're there. So they have a seance room. They were starting to build that seance room. Now it's really finished. That's the little big room I told you about.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just starting. And, Scotty the medium was there also.
Oh, really?
Scotty. And Scotty starts talking about this head, a clown head. It was like a little thing, a clown head. But he starts saying, "Oh yeah, I brought this," and comes out and brings it, and he's showing everybody, and everybody. I started feeling nauseous. I got my camera there. John's sitting next to me, and Sam's on the other side of me. John gets up and goes, "No." He gets up, he leaves. Sam goes, "Ah," and I said, I got a bad stomach. We all left. And it was like something with that clown that actually chased John out. It's like, here's this guy who deals with demons, and that clown chased him out.
Yeah, the minute you said clown head, I was like,
With that.
Yeah, no.
And that was an interesting night because then Ron played his radio, and John was like amazed. He goes, "This stuff's freaking me out. This stuff's freaking me out."
It's cool.
I'm going, Ron, you just freaked out the guy who fights demons.
The haunted collector, yeah. All the things that he has, yeah.
You're the one freaking out. So it was interesting. That was good. That was good. It was a good night. John he ended up leaving. He didn't stay, but most of us stayed overnight. We spent the night there doing investigation. Matter of fact, was that the night? No, that might be the night with the next video that I have for you.
Okay, all right.
That might be the same night.
All right, let's talk about this, and we'll play it here in a second. So, what was going on? When you had described it when you emailed it over to me, but for the viewers and the listeners, what was happening that caused you to record this video?
Okay, it was we all going to bed. I stayed in the one side of the building. I stayed in the main building. And Ron and Lourdes, they were in the back of the building, and they were in the bordello area, and there was a couple of people staying in the same spot where I was. Everybody spread out the building.
Okay.
So it was like 4:30 in the morning. It was a Sunday morning, 4:30. I had to drive back to Queens. So I'm like, it's an hour and a half, hour ride back, and so I had to get to bed. So everybody's in bed already. So I'm in my room. I have beep 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 like alarm going off, like a alarm going off, like a door alarm or something. So I'm an investigator. So I'm in the haunted location. What I'm going to do is definitely pick up a night vision camera and walk with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I just took the camera and I just started walking around, and I hear it. I go downstairs. I hear this alarm going off, and I'm like, I can't see where it's going on, but then I seen the panel on the front door, and you need the keypad or something like that, and
right.
So I'm walking around, and it's like I don't know what to do. I go back upstairs. I try calling Kelly up. Kelly's not answering. Tracy is like I told you, she was the manager. I'm knocking on the door saying to shut this alarm off. So I got my camera there, because that's what I do.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what to do. I can't get them up. I don't know the keypad. I got to get up in a couple hours. I'm going to go to bed. So that's what I do. So I play, when I come back home, I do the review on the camera. And I'm just on listen. And
This is,
the video that I gave you is what I caught on it,
All right, let's go ahead and play the video. It's quick, so we can play it a couple of times, but it's really crazy. So here we go.
The reason I made it so small because then I could send it out easier than
right. Than all the footage of you walking around. Yeah. Here we go. All right.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's really clear too.
Isn't that really clear? Let's play it one more
I'm
time.
the only one up. Everybody else is sleeping.
And you can hear it, like it's going really quickly. And then
So for the audio people, listen and you can hear them say, I don't want to tell you all the time, but get the wire cutters. It's pretty clear, right?
It's pretty clear, yeah.
They're giving Anthony advice on how to turn that off.
Right, even the ghosts are like, someone shut this
They're
off.
like, somebody shut that shit up.
Yeah, let's play it one more time.
Okay, yeah, play it.
It's super clear.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super clear.
The interesting part about Kelly actually wanted me to send her a copy of it, and she's probably using part of their they have like a promo now when you
For
go
sure.
there. Like, she's going to use that. But the interesting part about that, remember the Irish mob actually owned the Shanley.
Right.
Shanley Hotel. They were the Irish mob. That's where all that went on, was going on there. And they ended up back in the 20s, even 2010 or whatever, 2010, 1910, all those eras back then to recently. How do you shut off alarms if you want to shut it off? You cut the wires.
You got the wires, yeah.
Now everything's computerized. You got a program and everything else. So
do it from the app on your phone.
Backup and stuff, yeah. Well, now there's backups. It's not just electricity. Everything is double, double.
Yeah.
Back then, and being an electrician, when I hear wire cutters, I'm like, oh shit, what happened? He said wire cutters, So that was very interesting how that,
That's so cool.
Came about.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in touch with them. I walked around calling to Kelly, knocking on the doors, and nobody. I have to go to bed now. So
then did you so then you went to bed. When you woke up, did you ask anybody who shut the alarm off? Did the alarm just shut itself off? Ended
I
up?
spoke to Kelly about it. The alarm. One of the sensors on the alarm in one of the rooms was broken. And
okay.
And it actually went off because it was broken. Not that anything broke it. It was broken during construction, and then they get a chance to replace it.
Oh, okay.
It gets set off. So nothing supernatural set it off, or paranormal.
Yeah.
It was actually set off because of something,
just like on the fritz or whatever.
Something was broken.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is how something told me how to shut it off their own special way.
Right? That's so cool. I love it.
The alarm was all going off. That was an interesting night with that too. I mean, it was like, wow. We got to see, I got to work with some, John Zaffis and Sam, and it was interesting. It was good. It was a good night. We all did our stuff.
That's wonderful. Yeah, we're hoping to have, we were going to have Ron and Lourdes and Tony and Cherie on the show to discuss all things Staticom, which is what it's currently, its name is now. And our listeners, excuse me, what, Laura, I need to cough. Will you remind everybody what Staticom is?
So it's basically like white noise radio, but you can ask questions and get answers, kind of through the white noise is the best way. Am I explaining it? It sounds pretty right.
Okay. Staticom is a method. It's not a box or anything. It's a method.
Yep, it's a method.
And they actually go through static. And they actually a little static generator that makes white noise. That's all it does. There's no nothing coming in, no radio. There's no radio waves. Nothing. It's just static white noise, and they filter it through. They got different programs that they actually feed it through the computer.
Yeah,
and they're getting words out of nothing because it's just a static. That's all it is. And they're getting responses when they ask questions, and they're getting some, and then they're just getting words. They're getting whole sentences. And they're getting so much more than just what's going on. With, it's interesting how because I'm always with Ron and Lourdes.
Ron and Lourdes, yeah.
Yeah, just the three of us stuck together there. And it's what they're doing is next level stuff. And
it is.
Actually have a computer that they feed everything through, and it comes out, and the words are coming out, and they could make it clearer, or and you don't know if the words are. They don't know if it's coming from, the paranormal side or alien side. You don't know where the words are coming from, or the sentences, or and then. Like Ron gets his mother coming through. They have my mother coming through a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah. They just did a documentary.
Yeah. Yes. And that is coming out. I'm excited for that. Super excited for that one. We, schedules got conflicted. So we're hoping to reschedule the four of them to come on and actually show our viewers and our listeners exactly what Staticom is. It's not, I think the closest thing that you can compare it to, but it's on a whole other level, guys, is kind of like the spirit box, where it's scanning those radio frequencies. This is like that, but it's like Anthony said, it's simply white noise. So whatever words are coming through are the actual words. That day when we were in Gettysburg last year, we were all in, using it in that ballroom. 3 hours went by. We were using that thing, and it's really fascinating.
It
flew by. But somebody asked them to describe Chris Allgood, and Justice League came out of it, and we were like, oh my, because Chris was wearing a Superman shirt.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was wild. It was super wild. I know that EVPI has used it a lot on their show. And at one point, Chris wrote down a word. They're all in different locations. So Chris wrote down a word on a piece of paper and held it up to the camera so the viewers could see, and said, can you tell us what this word is? And sure enough, it popped right out. It's changing the face
that was from the House in Between.
Yeah. It's changing the face of paranormal investigations. You guys, I swear it's amazing. And we're going to have them on the show so that we can, show you guys exactly what it is. And it's really been...
I have them on my show too, but Tony and Sherry, because I go live, so it's a little hard.
It's a little trickier for a live show.
You can come on like 8:30. It's like we only get home at 8:30. Him and Sherry. So I had Ron and Lourdes on on Thursday.
Did you really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
they did that. They actually showed promos of the documentary they made.
It's fantastic, Tony. I
got a little thing in it.
You should. It's
our dog. We were doing it doing that. Matter of fact, we were just doing at the UFO. We was just talking about that. We did the Shanley after. That's
Yeah.
the same night.
Oh, okay.
We were doing it and ended up that it's going around and we had 30 people there. And I asked Ma, if you're here, have Cookie bark. Cookie was my childhood dog. And all of a sudden a bark, woof, comes out. And it's part of the documentary. And next to me is actually Kelly and Tracy from the Shanley Hotel.
Yeah.
And Kelly's face is like the way she went like,
It's
It's
wild.
amazing. Mm-hmm.
it all came through. So yeah,
That's cool.
I've been working with them, especially at the Shanley. We just did a whole thing at the Shanley with them.
Yeah.
Just a couple months ago with the Staticom and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to draw.